So in the spirit of talking about potential fights for Poatan, let's talk about another one. Yesterday or 2 days ago, Alex Poatan Pereira posted on his Instagram a picture of him in the octagon and Tom Aspinall staring at him from a distance just outside the octagon. This, of course, is a teaser for a potential fight between him and Tom. So how does it go? You know, and I guess I could address, Poatan's potential move to heavyweight in general in this video as well. But I'll start off with Tom. Tom Aspinall is the first guy, the first opponent of Alex in the UFC to say something remotely fucking smart. To say something that actually makes sense to do. Because out of, Alex's last handful of opponents, especially at light heavyweight, all of them have literally one very strong thing in common. They all are stupid enough to strike with one of the most powerful and skillful strikers to ever grace the UFC. We're talking Yuri, Jamal, even Ankalaev, people who are, I guess, fill themselves with this pointless bravado and macho, ideology to just throw things out the fucking window and try to strike with Alex Pereira. There's a difference between bravery and stupidity. A very strong and clear difference. Tom is showing high IQ, especially high fighting IQ. The first thing to come out of Tom Aspinall's mouth when he is interviewed and asked about a potential fight between him and Poatan Pereira is that at the very beginning of the fight, he's going to full-on rugby tackle Alex. That is the single smartest thing any opponent of Alex Pereira in the UFC has ever said. And I commend Tom on that. Because that is smart. Against a striker, and Alex is adequate on the ground. Don't get me wrong, he's building skills on the ground as well. But against a striker, if you are heavily knowledgeable in ground game, utilize the fucking ground game. It's not that complicated. It's not complex mathematics. It's fairly simple. If a guy has a weak point and you're going to fight him, you go for the weak point. Tom says he's going to do that. So how do I think a fight between Tom Aspinall and Alex goes? I've said before, I think Tom could outclass Alex on the feet as well because of the powerful 1-2s that Tom has, that jab cross, that long 1-2 down the pipe that can make it to the opponent faster than the opponent can reach you, especially if the opponent is, going to throw hooks or crosses. But now we've seen Alex has established another, powerful weapon to his arsenal, which is a very strong, heavy, and fast jab. So that made, Alex may even be able to counter the long rangey 1-2s of Tom Aspinall. I don't think he will. I think Tom can still beat Alex on the feet, especially with how large and heavy this guy, Tom is, but if you were to ask me how I think a fight between Tom Aspinall and Alex Pereira specifically goes, I think Tom will submit him in the third round. Again, I felt like Tom was going to be able to knock Alex out, but especially since he's established this jab, I think Tom has a better chance of, like he said he is going to do, full-on rugby tackle the guy, non-stop takedowns, relentlessly try to bring this fight to the ground, and then sprint for a submission. As soon as you hit the ground, you go for any submission in the book that you see is close enough to getting the job done. That's it. That's how you beat Alex Pereira. I think Alex definitely has time to add more skills to his grappling. I'm not saying Alex is some shit grappler who has no ground game. Alex has ground game. He's learning and becoming steadily and more capable in aspects of ground game. That being said, I don't think Alex is a ground game master. I don't think, the many aspects of different, categories of ground game come, instinctively to Alex. They don't. I think they will to Tom. Tom's been doing it for fucking years and years and years. He's been doing it. Jiu-jitsu, grappling, a little bit of wrestling too. Tom does that. Tom lives that. Tom will beat Alex. I think I'm fairly certain on that assessment. I think Tom beats Alex. Don't get me wrong. Alex Pereira is a legend already. He's a fully established legend. If he was to retire tomorrow, he goes down as a legend, as a fully ironclad established UFC legend, because he's done so much, so much. And look at his fan base. Look at what he's been able to accomplish. So he of course, he's already reached legendary status. And if he was to beat Tom and get the heavyweight belt and become champ, the first one to ever do it in the UFC, he's top 3, top 2, maybe even the GOAT. You can, with that, you can have an effective argument about him being the GOAT, about him being above John Jones. I'd be willing to have that argument, but I think he's definitely going to be top 3, top 2 if he was to beat Tom. I don't think it happens. I think Tom Aspinall is far too good, far too great for that to happen. I really do. There's a chance Alex could outclass him on the feet, of course, but on the ground. And if Tom actually does that, which he will, I believe he will, because no one else has said that. No one else who has ever been close to fighting Alex Pereira has said they're going to grapple with Alex, because they feel too manly and too macho to do something fucking smart. They'd rather do the dumb thing. So that's just that. I look forward to that fight. I'm excited for that fight. Alex has posted this picture, so I'm sure he's got that in mind, and of course the UFC will give it to him. The star that Alex is, they'll give it to him on a silver platter. And I think it'll be fun. I think there'll be a great build up to it, because these are two great, powerful people, head to head. That's going to be something spectacular. So I look forward to it. And yeah, Tom is just that guy. Brilliant, smart, powerful, and I feel like definitely a future member of the GOAT list. Give him years to just run through anybody he ever faces. Because once John leaves, John Jones, who's fighting in November, because I do think he's going to retire. I do believe John retires after he beats Stipe. Once John leaves, the organization is Tom Aspinall's. Once John leaves and Tom Aspinall gets the undisputed belt, Tom and Pereira have to fight. They have to, because Tom's big at light heavyweight. Tom's big at heavyweight. Alex is big at light heavyweight, and one of them has, the organization is not big enough for the two of them to be the shining stars and the faces of the UFC. One of them's got to go. And I think if it comes down to a fight at heavyweight for the undisputed heavyweight title, Alex is hitting the door. Alex is hitting the door. But you let me know. Subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you think. I love you guys. I'll see y'all in the next.